Good evening, hockey fans. Welcome back to the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Hard-hitting show tonight. Lots of talk in the last week or two as several players, PK Subban and his brothers at the forefront, been leading the charge in hockey's redoubled efforts to be fighting racism across the sport. Zach will have several stories to share with us tonight about what Subban and other players across the sport in all levels, the NHL, the AHL, and the ECHL are doing to combat this problem throughout the league. We've also got quick hits, news and stories from all around the NHL about the Devils, the Ducks, the Kraken, the Blackhawks, the Red Wings. We're going to talk about each one of them tonight on the show. And then finally, on a lighter note, have you ever seen 52,000 teddy bears on an ice rink? Well, if you were in Hershey, Pennsylvania this past week, you just might have seen that. We'll have details on that and more coming up right here on the Neutral Zone. Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome back into another episode of the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am your host, Adam Karnick. Zach Puplis is along with us tonight as well. How you doing, Zach?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Adam?
It's been a week, you know. It's been a busy sports day. My Chicago Bears decided to get busy and sign a general manager earlier this afternoon. So it's been kind of a busy sports day for me, but I'm glad now to kind of get out of the football world and get into the hockey world.
Sure.
And we've got our rivalry coming up here tomorrow night. You know, my team, at least, isn't doing all that well overall, but yours is at least. And anytime the Blackhawks and the Red Wings play each other, it's always a fun time, always a good match to talk about.
Oh, for sure.
All right, so as we get in, boy, the chat room is jumping already. We got Taryn and Gina and Angela stopping in to say hello for a little bit. Good evening, everyone. Angela is a Hurricanes fan, by the way, Zach. So we can drop in some Teuvo Teravainen and another Hurricane knowledge tonight if we get to it.
Ooh, fun. Okay, so East Carolina and Hurricanes make sense together, but Arizona Cardinals?
I'll let Angela explain her sports allegiances. She's been around everywhere, so she gets to pick teams up as she goes. I have no problems with it.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Uh-oh. Now you've poked the bear with a stick, Zach. So Angela, it's Zach that's trying to start this, not me. I'm being totally honest, and I want to get out of the way.
I'm just curious. That's all. I mean, the Lions did break the Cardinals and the Packers. I mean, for that matter. So
that was glorious watching the Packers lose the other night. That was I will say that was outstanding to watch. Anytime to see that brat of a franchise lose is okay, here we go. Angela, she was a Kurt Warner fan, and then Kurt went to Arizona, and Angela then fell in love with the Cardinals ever since.
Gotcha. Okay, now I know Kurt Warner, of course. I know him from the Cardinals. Now, help me out though. It was a little bit before my time. Where was he before the Cardinals?
The St. Louis Rams.
Oh, I did know that. Okay.
So it was Kurt Warner got Angela to be a Arizona Cardinals fan.
Gotcha. Okay. And you, as you think that Robbie Gould got that final field goal.
Oh, that was the icing on the cake. That it was Robbie Gould. Absolutely, that was just that made it all the sweeter. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Nice.
Oh yeah,
way to
absolutely.
Throw in a hockey.
What's that?
Way to throw in a hockey reference there too. Icing.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yes. Hockey. Right. Hockey. Yeah, that's what we're talking tonight, right?
See, you totally meant to do that, right?
Exactly. See, that was, well, and Taryn's already keeping score on us. So, yeah, we do need to get it back around here. Right. So now that we're, 7 minutes in, well, I suppose we should talk about hockey, shouldn't we? But before we get any further, let's acknowledge our sponsors for the week. Starting with the Southern California Warriors semi-pro football team. The world of semi-pro sports is unlike any other sports organizations. Players pay to play in hopes of so many different outcomes, whether it's playing to get filmed to try out for professional teams, big-time colleges, or just playing to stay in shape. No matter what, all semi-pro players have one thing in common, and that's playing for the love of the game. The SoCal Warriors have been on a quest to earn titles and give players second chances since 2017. Whether you're in Southern California or anywhere in the world, give semi-pro sports a chance if you love your sport. You may get that second chance you've been waiting for as an athlete. Find them on Twitter at SoCal Warriors, Instagram at Southern California _Warriors, Facebook at Southern California Warriors, and Background Check International. Businesses, are you looking to background check a new hire on? Let Kit Fremen take care of that for you. Kit founded and has managed Background Check International since 1994, and he's here to help you with the screening process. Contact Kit and let him help make the hiring process that much easier. This business is used for professional background checks and not for the use of any crimes, such as identity theft or any other illegal activity. Go to their website, bcint.com, or find them on Facebook. Search Background Check International-BCI. And IE Sports Radio, we are available on all the major social platforms. Just search IE Sports Radio, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, or head over to our website, iesportsradio.com. There you can learn about all the shows, this show and the other 30 or so shows we've got on the network. Shows like Taryn's SoCal Supreme or Gina's Reppin' to NorCal Sports, or Mike Pat's Let's Whine About Sports, where he talks about Washington, D.C. area sports while enjoying a lovely glass of wine. Mike's is one of my favorite shows to catch on Sunday nights. Or you can check
Chardonnay or Cabernet Sauvignon.
all of the above. They're grapes. They get pressed into juice that ferments. It's wonderful. It's a fantastic thing. I don't judge. All wines are awesome. Or any of the other shows on the network, plus learn about the different hosts and personalities we have. You can also learn about our fan of the month. This month is Jim at Steel 436-44268-GO. He is the January fan of the month. He's a Steelers fan, so he got to see Big Ben ride off into the sunset. And then while you're there also, please check out the link to our Patreon page. And if you are so inclined, please donate. Like at Bay Area Raised or at MLOS Great. Those donations go to help us take the next level as a radio station. You also get something out of it, as well as getting mentioned on our shows. You get access to the lovely ornaments that Angela makes, or the hoodies, sweatshirts, hats, caps, merchandise like that. You can also get access to our podcasting university, or even a chance to get featured on a segment of The Defining Moment, our flagship show that Larry B. hosts. No matter what, just thank you for continuing to support us here at IE Sports Radio. It really is fun to get to do all this and interact with all these fun, wonderful, crazy people that we have here at IE Sports Radio. And I agree, Gina. Yes, we do need more women's voices in sports. Zach's actually got a story about that. I don't know that was necessarily what we're going to lead with, but it's a perfect segue. Zach, who did the Canucks just hire?
I was just going to say that'd probably be a good segue. Let's see here.
I know that was story number 3 for tonight, but Gina set us up so perfectly. Just teed it right up there for us.
I know, right? Thank you so much. Vancouver Canucks hire Emily Castoni as assistant GM, making her second woman in NHL history to hold the title. Emily Castoni, a player agent, has been hired as an assistant GM by the Vancouver Canucks, becoming only the second woman in NHL history to hold that title. Castoni, 38, is the first woman to serve as the GM in the Castoni to assist GM of the minor time. Hey, we got another segue. As the only woman to be hired as the assistant general manager in the NHL. Well, he has experience, is driven to succeed, and has a strong reputation in hockey for her intelligence and work ethic, said Jim Rutherford, Vancouver's president of hockey operations and interim general manager. She will play a lead role in player contracts and negotiation, managing the collective bargaining agreement, and her voice will be heard in all aspects of hockey operations. She will be a key member of our leadership team, and we are pleased to welcome her to Vancouver. Rutherford appeared determined to hire a woman as his assistant general manager. Among the other candidates for the job were Jennifer Botterill, currently a commentator for Sportsnet, Dana Hefford, formerly the commissioner of the Canadian Women's Hockey League, and Angela Rugario, who was a member of the executive board of the International Olympic Committee. Castoni joined the team from Momentum Hockey, where she was the first woman to be certified by the NHL Players Association as a player agent in 2016. Her most prominent client was Alexis Lafreniere, who was selected number 1 overall by the New York Rangers in their 2020 NHL entry draft. It is an honor to join the Vancouver Canucks, and I am grateful to Jim and the Aquilini family for the opportunity, said Castoni. The Canucks have a passionate fan base and an exciting young team with a bright future. I can't wait to help build a winning organization that continues to grow and challenge us for championships. Rutherford was hired by the Canucks in December 2021 after the team fired general manager Jim Benning. He is only one of 2 general managers to win Stanley Cups with different franchises, capturing the championship with the Carolina Hurricanes, 2006. There you go, Angela. And the Pittsburgh Penguins, 2016 and 2017.
Well, a good move by the Vancouver Canucks. And I love hearing, too, that it was very intentional that, look, we're going to hire a woman for this role. I like hearing that aspect of it, too.
Exactly, yeah. It's very good that there's getting to be more inclusion throughout the sport.
Exactly. We're seeing that more now in the NBA, in the NHL, a little teeny tiny bit in the NFL, but it's awesome that we're getting closer, one step closer every time.
Yep.
All right. So from that story, Zach, the story that we were going to start off with was certainly a little bit more sobering and serious of a story. What have the Subban brothers been? They've been very active on social media this week. Kind of get us caught up. What have the Subban brothers been up to this week on social media?
For sure. Jacob Panetta was released by the ECHL team following suspension by league for alleged racist taunt at Jordan Subban, younger brother of PK Subban. ECHL has indefinitely suspended Jacksonville Iceman defenseman Jacob Panetta, pending a hearing for what South Carolina Stingrays defenseman Jordan Subban said was a racist taunt Saturday night. The Iceman later announced that they are releasing Panetta. To be clear, quote, "To be clear, our core values as an ownership group include one love and zero tolerance for racism or for any other forms of hate against any group whatsoever. The platform that is the Jacksonville Iceman is one that is more than just about hockey to us as a group. It is about using this platform to spread not only our love for hockey, but our love for the community and for each other," team CEO Andy Kaufman said in a statement. Though the investigation and review is ongoing at the league level, the Jacksonville Icemen will be releasing the player involved effective immediately and will continue our mission of sharing our love of community and hockey. On behalf of the entire Iceman organization, we apologize to anyone who is offended and look forward to beginning the process of healing together as one. Thank you. The announcement came hours after the team released an initial statement saying it was cooperating with the ECHL's review of the incident. Stingrays team president Rob Concannon said in a statement that his organization was appalled by the incident. Our organization stands in support of our friend and teammate Jordan, as well as all other players who continue to deal with racism and discrimination. This behavior is unacceptable and has to stop, he said. The game was in overtime when South Carolina's Andrew collided with Jackson Kapelmaster, sparking between the teams. According to Subban, he tried to engage Panetta in a fight. Panetta responded by allegedly taunting Subban, who is black. As soon as I began to turn my back, he started making monkey gestures at me, so I punched him in the face multiple times, and he turtled like the coward he is, Subban tweeted. The two fought while surrounded by players from both teams. They received major penalties and misconduct penalties that sent them into their locker rooms. Nico Blockman said he left the Stingrays bench to punch Panetta and was also given a game misconduct. Jacksonville won the game 1-0 overtime. The Icemen are a minor league affiliate of the Rangers. The Stingrays are of the Capitals. Panetta was on Twitter on Sunday with a tweet that said, "Racism has no place in this world and no place in the game we love." Panetta said he told Subban that you're only tough when the refs get involved, and then did a tough guy bodybuilder-like gesture toward him that Panetta said he has made to other players in other games. My actions toward Jordan were not because of race and were not intended as a racial gesture. I did not contemplate at the time that it would be received as a racial gesture, and I attempted to convey this to Jordan when we were sent to the dressing room during the game. I now see from Jordan's reaction that he and others certainly viewed it as a racial gesture, and that my actions have caused a great deal of anger. I want to express to everyone, especially Jordan, that my actions were not racially motivated at all, and I sincerely apologize for the pain and suffering and anger that my actions have caused him, his family, and everyone else who has been hurt by this, Panetta added. News of the incident spread quickly on Saturday night when New Jersey Devils defenseman PK Subban, who is Jordan's older brother, shared a video of Panetta's taunt and called out the ECHL. They don't call the East Coast League the jungle because my brother and the other black players are the monkeys. Hey, Jacob Panetta, you shouldn't be so quick to delete your Twitter or your Instagram account. You will probably be able to play again. That's what history says, PK Subban tweeted to his 1 million followers. But things are changing now. Not just the hockey world knows your true colors. Your hometown of Belleville knows, your family, your friends know that you're a fraud, wrote PK Subban. With everything that has gone on in the past couple of years in the world, I'll say with all due respect to everyone who has an opinion, this isn't a mistake. We all know what's okay and what's not. Even your own teammates want to cleaned. This is not exposed lowly. This occurred in the league. Suspended San Jose Barracuda forward Christoph Hrebeck for 30 games after he made a racial gesture toward Boko Imama of the Tucson Roadrunners in the January 12th game. Hrebeck, 22, imitated the movements of a monkey in a taunt that targeted Imama, who is black. Hrebeck will have the option to take part in training with the NHL's Player Inclusion Committee, for which PK Subban is listed as a co-chair, to reduce his suspension. He can apply to the AHL for reinstatement after missing 21 games, and a decision will be based on an evaluation of his progress and the necessary education and training with the Player Inclusion Committee. These incidents continue a trend of racist taunts in professional hockey. In 2021, Andre Deniskin of the Scandinavian Hockey League pantomime peeling and eating a banana towards Jalen Smirek, who is black. Deniskin was suspended 13 games. Smirek reacted to the Subban incident on Instagram, writing, "It's the first month of 2022, and there's already been 2 racial gestures in the second and third highest leagues in North America. Just think about how many are happening at the youth level to young kids that we don't see or ever know about because the game isn't being recorded."
Yeah, rough start to the year for hockey, but
I'm sorry, Ukrainian hockey league, not Scandinavian.
yeah. At least it's getting out there, and some of them are getting caught. Not enough of them are getting caught. To the Subban's point, there's, for every one that they catch, how many are slipping through the cracks that we don't know about. And if you've seen the video of the one in Jacksonville, I mean, he's being held back by the official and then decides to make a gesture. I guess he thought he was trying to do a bodybuilder pose or whatever. That's not what it looked like. It definitely looked like he was trying to be a monkey, and Subban just absolutely had none of it.
Right. Well, look, the one kid, not Panetta, but the other one, Hrebeck from the AHL, he's got to go through that basically inclusion training, and PK Subban's on the committee, and it's like, PK Subban's going to kick his ass too.
Yeah, that'll be a fun conversation when that day comes.
Yeah, I have more on that one if you want to hear too.
Yeah, we'll do just a little bit, then we'll take a quick break after that.
Cool. Well, actually, I've also got Subban's reactions. Maybe we should do that one first.
Okay, yeah. Start with Subban.
That's more vital. Let's see. So, New Jersey Devils defenseman PK Subban on Sunday night addressed the incident involving an alleged racist taunt aimed at his younger brother Jordan Subban in a minor league game Saturday in Florida. East Coast Hockey League indefinitely suspended Jacksonville Iceman defenseman Jacob Panetta pending a hearing. Then they later announced they released Panetta. PK Subban, in his 13th NHL season, spoke with reporters following the Devils' 3-2 loss to the LA Kings. He had posted a series of social media messages earlier in the day regarding the incident. The post-game news conference featured his first comments in person. "I didn't sleep much," he said, referring to Saturday night when he heard the news after the Devils defeated the Carolina Hurricanes 7-4 in Newark. "Sheer disappointment. It's distasteful. There's no room for that in our game. I'm embarrassed because our game is better than this." They talked more about what sparked the incident, the fight. As soon as I began to turn my back, he started making monkey gestures at me, so I punched him in the face multiple times. He turtled like the coward he is, Jordan Subban tweeted. Two fought while surrounded by players from both teams, major penalties, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. PK Subban concurred with the team president of the Stingrays that he and their organization stand in support of their friend and teammate Jordan and against racism and discrimination. Speaking after playing 22 minutes in the Devils' home loss, PK Subban called for a change and said he hoped the incident might be enough to spur true improvement. I'd rather people focus on how we can change it and make it better. Ex-kids like PK Subban or Jordan Subban doesn't have to go through this, he said. Subban, who has another brother in the sport, Malcolm Subban, goaltender for the Buffalo Sabres, said he had a conversation with his family. What I think about is the great people and the great things in our game that I love, he said. But the unfortunate thing isn't just the incident. The unfortunate thing is how many kids this every day, Pleasant Light. The Subans grew up playing the game in Toronto. PK is 32, Malcolm's 28, Jordan's 26. The biggest thing that I can say about our family is that we don't need the pity from anyone. I didn't need it when I was 5. I didn't need it when I was 10. I didn't need it when I would play junior hockey, and my brothers didn't need it. Pity. No one felt sorry for us when we went through our experiences growing up. We don't expect anyone to feel sorry, and we don't expect anyone to really understand that who isn't black. If you're not black, you're not going to understand this, and that's okay. Panetta posted on video on Twitter on Sunday. It said racism has no place in the world, no place in the game we love. His comments to Jordan. All of this is stuff we've talked about before. It talks about the American Hockey League incident. And it also talks about the Ukrainian hockey incident. So at the end, PK Subban added to his other thoughts. For us, this is life. This is life, and that's sad, he said. It's like for people who look like me who have gone through this game of hockey, and that's part of history, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, it is a rough part of the history of the game. It's something that hockey kind has to own, and it's taken hockey a little bit to recognize that in itself. That, I mean, we still have coaches that are still getting in trouble for using inappropriate language with different players throughout all levels of the game. So it's something that hockey is still dealing with in ways that other sports have kind of moved past already. But as hard as it is, as hard as the conversations are to have, it's important that they're being had. And it's good to see that the leagues are trying. They're maybe not moving as quickly as we'd like or as successfully as we'd like right now, but slow incremental progress is better than no incremental progress.
Yeah, for sure.
So, rough stories from around the week. All right, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll do some quick hits. I know Zach has got a long list of stuff on some teams, including the Devils. We'll do a look-in on the Hurricanes and talk about the Ducks. And I know Zach has had a Seattle Kraken story that he's been wanting to get in for the last 2 weeks, and I apparently just don't let him. So I should let him get that story out here. This is the Neutral Zone on IEE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for the latest on Northern California sports? Then take a trip out west with me, your host, Gina G, on Reppin' the NorCal Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'll be bringing it to you all the way live every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's always a packed show. I'll bring you everything Dynastic 49ers, the bite of the San Jose Sharks, torture of the San Francisco Giants, the Golden State Warriors that we still believe. Then take you across the bay to the rise and grind of the Oakland A's. I've got you covered on college ball from the Cal Bears to the Stanford Cardinal, so that no matter what, reppin' in NorCal sports is always reppin' the Bay. So if you bleed red and gold, or you're looking to keep an eye out west in them thar hills, don't miss me, Gina G, on reppin' in NorCal sports. Catch me every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'll have your fandom repped harder than a trio of defenders guarding Stephen Curry before his buzzer beater is Gucci.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am Adam. Zach Publis is along with us as well tonight. So, kind of a rough first segment, some serious stuff that hard to talk about, but important to talk about, and lots of good stuff going on in the chat with that conversation continuing there. If you are listening live, by the way, and want to get involved in the chat, hop on into Spreaker. Make yourself a free account. Hop on in. We have fun and interact that way. You can interact with Gina and Taryn and Angela. Mike's hanging out in there tonight with us. Lots of fun in the chat. So, several games going on tonight in action that we wanted to talk about. Angela, we were talking about your Hurricanes earlier. They are going to overtime against the Golden Knights. The Hurricanes were up 3-1 against Vegas. Vegas scored twice in rapid succession, as Vegas is wont to do. 2 goals in a span of just about 4 minutes tied the game up, and they are now underway in overtime. So Carolina gets at least a point tonight against Vegas, but they're going to have to work a little harder to get the second one. Some other games of note, the Flyers and Islanders currently tied at 3. The Flyers have a new Iron Man. Keith Yandel has set the NHL record by skating in his 965th consecutive regular season game by skating in that one tonight against the Islanders. They are tied at 3 with just over 13 minutes left to play in regulation in that one. A couple of finals. The Dallas Stars beat the New Jersey Devils 5-1, and the Pittsburgh Penguins doubled up the Arizona Coyotes 6-3. Oh, did I lose Zach?
Nope, I'm here.
Oh, there he is. Okay, cool. I thought I'd lost you, boy.
No.
Oh, and Angela's less than excited to hear that the Hurricanes gave up those 2 goals, but they're in overtime. You know, anything can happen in those 3-on-3 overtimes in the NHL. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that one for you. Mike and Gina are going to be are waiting till tomorrow night for their teams. Their teams actually play each other. The Sharks and the Capitals play each other tomorrow night in Washington. That should be a good one. Alexander Ovechkin is always worth the price of admission to tune in to a hockey game. And then, Zach, our teams are playing each other tomorrow night. That's the early featured game on TNT tomorrow night. The Blackhawks at the Red Wings. I fully expect your Red Wings to come out victorious in that one because for some reason, apparently they just don't lose at home and the Blackhawks don't win on the road. So there you go. There you have it.
What can I say? Little Caesars Arena is quite the fortress.
Apparently. It can knock that off at any time, by the way. They can lose at home. I'd be just fine with that.
Not just pizza boxes, but made of ironclad pizza boxes.
Something. I don't know. Maybe they brought over those boards from the old Joe Lou where I swear, you'd hit it off that board and it bounced clear back out to center ice.
Right. That's not
some
ice.
of the
What are you talking about?
Those are some of the most active boards. It's not supposed to be made out of... The puck is made out of frozen rubber. The boards aren't supposed to be made out of rubber.
Right.
And then
mentioned, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to try to set you up here. The Seattle Kraken later tonight are going to be taking on the Nashville Predators. Now, Zach, I know that you have had a Seattle Kraken story that you've wanted to get to, so please fire away.
Sure. All right. GM Kraken go in 2022 and be. I mean, it's only like halfway through the season, but this is kind of a reflect and see how they've done so far. They are currently 13-24, and they're sitting 8th in the Pacific Division.
Yeah, there's only 2 teams with fewer points than them right now in the NHL.
Yeah, rough. Since their inception, the Kraken pushed back on comparisons to the Vegas Golden Knights, who rewrote the rules for NHL expansion teams by making the Stanley Cup Final in their first season. From day one, we said we're not Vegas. Kraken general manager Ron Francis said on Sen. There's no debating that. Through 33 games in the 17-18 season, the Golden Knights had a points percentage of 67% and were atop of the division. Through 33 games, Seattle has a 36% points percentage. My zinger from last week. And they reside in the bottom of the Pacific, which is where you might expect to find a Kraken, but not the Kraken.
Yes. You finished off last week's show with that joke. Caught me right off guard as I was trying to close the show.
Boo is.
Oh. It's a good thing you weren't here because I was casting daggers with my eyes.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So this is the pun we foresee happening. Even those dubious about the potential for first season success weren't predicting a stumble out of the gate of this magnitude for the NHL's newest franchise. We decided to go to the source and ask Ron Francis what's gone wrong for the Kraken, what the plan is to go forward, and what this bummer of a season means to the NHL's newest market. Seattle Kraken have a .364 points percentage through 33 games. How does this track with internal expectations for the team? Francis, I think it's certainly been more challenging than we were hoping for when the season started. I think when we looked at things and other people looked at things in the offseason, I thought we'd be a competitive team. You're always hoping that things go right for you, that you have a chance to make the playoffs. Instead of going right, some things have gone wrong. But the plan all along was to build this thing right from the ground up, long term, have a strong, successful franchise. That's how we drafted. That's why we kept our... That hasn't changed. But has this lack of success given new clarity to the plan? You're not the Vegas Golden Knights going to the Stanley Cup in your first season. You're on a more traditional expansion team track. Wild Blue Jackets. Does this season's record give you a sense of what your next quarters look like? For us, the worst thing to do would be to panic and change course and start giving up after pieces that may or may not turn things around. The tough part is biting the bullet. At the core of it is not doing something now. The effect in on the road. What's going on? Where have
Zach, you're breaking up quite a bit.
Oh, how about now?
That's a little better.
talked about goaltending, COVID cases, a new system, new offense, new players, lack of practice time, load. As a result, giving up way too many odd man rushes, which affects your goaltender's confidence. They've had games where they've played well enough to win and probably deserve to win, but yet struggled to find the back of the net and found a way to lose. He says he thinks that puts pressure on the goaltender too. Some continue to struggle as Philip Grubauer's pressure, combining for an 87 point. How much does that impact? Like what a good percentage is, and you said about 92, right?
Yeah, you want to stop. That. Yeah, certainly over 90. 91, 92 is a really good save percentage.
Okay, yeah, so 87, yeah, not so good.
No, 87 is very bad.
Ooh. If you talk to them, they'd say the same thing. They'd like to be better. Well, no duh. We're hoping we can get that straight down here. The Kraken have allowed 28 goals above expected. All the goalies have faced. It seems like the defense is doing a good job in limiting high danger chances and disrupting offense. How much of this lack of success as a team just comes down to an inability to get the average save made? Francis says, it seems like that when you make a mistake, we tend to make a beauty of it, never a little one. Our guys are still battling and competing hard, which you like to see, and hopefully we start to get results for everyone in the lineup, goaltenders included. You have Philip Grubauer for 5 more seasons, including 2 with a full no-trade clause. Are you worried about him not being the franchise goalie you expected? No, if you look at his career, I think he struggled a little bit going from the Capitals to Colorado as well. Look, this is a guy who was a finalist for the Vezina last year. I'm not giving him a total free pass. I think if you talk to him, he would say that there are things he needs to be better at, and there are saves he needs to make. But I still think he's a goaltender that can be good for us moving forward as we build around him and increase our team. I've watched your team a bunch this season. As you mentioned, there are nights when you get the saves, but you just don't get the goals. There are also nights where you don't get the saves, but you do get the goals. It just seems like the Kraken can't get both facets of the team clicking at the same time. And Francis, I think that's a real good assessment of how our season has gone to this point. There are nights we look good and we don't get the results, and there are other nights where we need to be better. He talks about not being a normal year with COVID. He says we don't have the 5-year draft picks and the depth on our American Hockey League team that other franchises have. It becomes a little bit more challenging for us. At what point do we allow crackingly overvaluing analytics, thereby resulting from the said from day one, you don't go 100% analytics, you don't go 100% eye test. It's a balance of the two. That's what we did in this case. What do you say to that?
Yeah, when you're analyzing, doing things like that, you never want to be 100% just the numbers. You don't want to be 100% just the eye test. It's really, you want to, the best way I've heard it is kind of in a baseball sense where they work in harmony. You'll have somebody who's watching and, hey, I think I'm seeing this from the defense or the forwards. Do the numbers back up what I'm seeing, or vice versa, where, wow, the numbers are telling us this. Are you seeing that out on the ice? So, yeah, you need to have that communication there between your eyes on the product as well as the numbers on the product. A quick aside, real quick, for Angela, she'll be excited to know the Hurricanes did win in overtime, 4-3. I want to make sure I get his first name. Yeah, it was Sebastian. Sebastian Aho got his second goal of the night with just about a minute and 10 seconds left to go in overtime. So Carolina beats Las Vegas 4-3 tonight.
Thanks.
And
he's on the All-Star team, actually.
Yes. Yep.
For the Metropolitan Division.
Yes. So, and to get back to Seattle for just a second, they have improved a little bit since that story, too. They're up to now about a 41. They get points in about 41% of their games. So they are a little bit improving. They won on Sunday. They beat the Panthers on Sunday 5-3. They've won 2 out of their last 3. So they are on a little bit of a hot streak right now, and they get to take on the Nashville Predators tonight. The Predators come in. Let me get my Nashville numbers up here. They have won their last 2 and have 13 points in their last 10 games. So Nashville's coming in a little hot. We'll see what's going on. And I believe it is Grubauer in net tonight for the Kraken. I'm double checking that right now, but I believe it's going to be Philip Grubauer in net tonight for Seattle. So we'll see how things go for them tonight. See if they can get a couple of points against Nashville.
Sure.
So another
they're
team that is riding a little hot right now are the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks have surprised a little bit. They've won their last couple to move back into second place overall in the Pacific Division, behind just the Vegas Golden Knights. They're 4 points back, and Anaheim is getting ready. Their next game is tomorrow night. They go into Toronto to take on the Maple Leafs. But the Anaheim Ducks are a little surprising with what they're doing. Now, I think it's a little bit of a mirage with Anaheim. I'm still not sold on them overall. There's lots of different, you brought up numbers, some of the different metrics and things you can look at. A quick one for any sport is always going to be point differential. Goal differential for the Ducks, they've only scored 4 more goals than their opponents have scored. So they should be a little closer to 500 than they are. But as Taryn brings up in the chat, they just beat the Bruins 5-3. They just beat the Lightning 5-1. They were in it for just about 2 periods against Colorado last week. It was 0-0 until about 2 minutes left to go in the second period when Colorado finally got on the board and won that game 2-0. So the Ducks are they're picking up steam at the right time. We'll see what they might be able to do and how they'll do against Toronto. Of course, the big names, Troy Terry, he's leading the team right now with 23 goals, and Ryan Getzlaf has got 23 assists. So the names you kind of expect from them a little bit, but we'll see what they can do. We'll see what they can do tomorrow night. It should be a good game in Toronto, as the teams are finally able to kind of move around a little bit, and the Canadian teams can have some home games a little bit.
A tiny bit more.
Oh, yeah. Go right ahead.
Sweet. Okay, so we were talking about going half and half. Half analytics, half eye test. He says, for people to think that GMs were going to make the same mistakes that they made 4 years ago in the Vegas expansion draft was pretty naive. They learned from that. Things were going to be different. So the trades weren't there. We went a different approach, tried to maintain a half. Our space we have that we still have as we try to get into free agency and who might be available for a move because of their contracts. We're still in a position to work at that. We're also building through the draft. We have a solid one last year, and I think we do the same this year. I'm the head coach, Dave Haxtell. So with COVID and starting with 5 games on the road, 8 days, you're trying to implement a system, trying to learn about other teams. There's going to be a lot going on at the start of the season. But I think we're much better now than we were at the start of the year. I'm comfortable with the job Dave has done at this point, and I know he'll continue to do it better as we move forward. Did I see that Dave Haxtell shaved? What a bummer. I love the evil Dave goatee as a point of demarcation from his days at the Flyers. Francis laughs. Well, hey, we're trying everything right now.
Just don't shave during the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, that's a given. We've done a lot of what's going wrong for your team this season. What are some aspects for the Kraken that you're happy with, or what do you see as improving? You have to look at the big picture at what we get you. You've got good people in our organization that are working hard, trying to build the basis of what we want to do moving forward. I think our facilities are outstanding, both our practice facility and climate. Our fan base, people in support, I think the guy is very appreciated by the city. Lots of positives. Continue incrementally better every year. Last one. Have a great year. But our fans.
You're breaking up quite a bit again, Zach.
Oh, sorry. Anytime you're not, fans have been tremendous in the support. They're showing. They understand where expanding takes time to build this same way. This has been good, loud, and one of the things an anomaly judged by Vegas' first-year success. There, fan base that have the travel.
Oh, whoop!
I see.
Zach, you're breaking up a lot. Wherever you are, you're breaking up quite a bit.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. I'm in the same place I was last week. We're
up. Well, we'll try to reconnect with Zach real quick here, but while we do, so we got some just other scores real quick, and then a fun story to kind of close out. Up, and there's Zach. Zach, are you back?
I'm here.
Okay.
Here. Can you hear me?
Now we can. Yes.
Okay, that's weird. I'm in the same spot I was last week. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Okay, one of the things that him and his front office have preached was that Vegas is an anomaly, that they can't be judged by Vegas' first-year success. That's fair, but you have a fan base that knows what that team did, knows that they have the same draft rules, and sees that you have a 0.7 chance of making the playoffs. What do you say to them? I say that we're different than Vegas. It's been pretty clear. It was the first time that those GMs had gone through those rules. Teams had a little over a year to prepare for it. This team, they had 4 years before they got to us. I remember reading someplace that Vegas felt going into the season they had a 5-year plan to build it right. Then things changed when they started playing the way they did, and they played, and they went in a different direction. But from day one for us, we want to make sure that we're building it right from the ground up so that we can be a solid team when we get to do everything we can to make sure we get into the playoffs every year.
Yeah, well, definitely for Seattle, it's being the more traditional expansion team route for them. So give them time. They'll grow. They will grow. Expansion teams can come on very quickly. Sometimes they take a little bit, but certainly I don't think they're doing anything wrong here in their first season. They're just, unfortunately for them, Vegas was just so good that first season that it kind of threw everybody else's expectations out of whack.
Oh, gosh, for sure.
So, all right. Well, then, well, let's see. We are at our hour. One quick story that I have, real quick, just to end on a light note, since it's been a little bit heavier of a show. Back into the minors. We started off in the minors. We will finish off tonight in the minors, and then we'll get out of here tonight. Thank you all for listening and sticking around with us here on the Neutral Zone. We really do appreciate it. So, in Hershey, Pennsylvania, it's a common trend among multiple minor league teams where they will do teddy bear drives, where they'll either give them straight to orphanages, or sometimes they'll donate them to. I saw one story where there's a team that they'll have fans bring teddy bears to a game, and then they go to their local police precinct, something like that. It all is a good fun, good feel-good stories. In Hershey, Pennsylvania, they do things a little bit crazier. They do a teddy bear toss where the Hershey Bears, when they score their first goal of the game on that night, everybody throws a stuffed animal of some kind onto the ice. Well, they had their game this past week, and Axel Janssen Falby, scored. He was on loan from the Washington Capitals. The Hershey Bears are a minor league affiliate of Washington. He scored the goal late in the first period. Over 52,000 stuffed bears wound up on the ice. It set a new record. They broke their record from 2 years earlier. Players were getting involved in quote-unquote collecting the teddy bears. That just turned into players jumping into piles of teddy bears on the ice, and then quickly realizing that it's a lot easier to get into a pile of teddy bears than it is to get out of one. But the math came out to an average of just under 5 stuffed animals per person in attendance for the game. There were 10,514 people in attendance. There were 52,341 stuffed animals on the ice.
Wow.
So setting a new world record.
It's like taking a duffel bag in with your 5 teddy bears in with you.
Oh, yeah. They've got pictures of people in the crowd with trash bags stuffed to the gills with teddy bears just waiting to unload. And it's sometimes people are going to the store to buy new bears. Sometimes they're bringing their own from home that their kids are done with or for whatever reason.
Sure.
And so they then donate them to charity after they're done. So congratulations to the Hershey Bears on their recent teddy bear drive, setting a new world record.
That's awesome. Aw, that's so cool.
All right, that is going to do it for our show tonight. Some big thank yous out there tonight, of course, to our sponsors, the Southern California Warriors, and to Background Check International. Thank you for continuing to support not just this show, but all the shows on the network. Of course, a big thank you to Larry B. for all he does to keep the station up and running and everybody knowing what their roles are and when to go on and all those good things. Thank you to everybody for hanging out with us in the chat tonight. Taryn and Gina and Angela and Mike. I think that was everybody. I don't think I missed anybody as I scroll up and make sure that I got everybody. It looks like we did. Big thank you to listening. Whether you're listening live here on Tuesday nights or you're coming out later on in the week and joining in and listening to the podcast later, thank you for keep coming back and having us be part of your sports week. We really do appreciate it. We're getting closer and closer and closer to the Olympics. We'll be having some more previews and stories of those coming up, plus the NHL's All-Star break. All kinds of fun, crazy stuff coming up here in the hockey world in the next couple of weeks. Never a dull moment. For Zach, I am Adam. We are the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio. Until next week, stay out of the penalty box. Don't get checked into the boards. Light the lamp. We'll see you next week.